What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Thor Media podcast. I'm your host, Sock from Detailing Made Simple, and today will be a little bit of a controversial topic, and I will try to do everything in one take. This way I could give you the most informative and information as possible in terms of which one you think will fit really inside your detailing regimen, whether you're a DIY enthusiast or professional alike. So yes, the title does say interior detailer versus rinseless. Now, why am I saying that in particular? Well, for me personally, I like to use a rinseless wash for my interiors all the time, especially now recently that I've coated my entire vehicle with Immortal from Phoenix EOD, and this is something that I learned from Hawaii Tim, or Tim McLaughlin. He's the one that, told me about it. I've done it on a couple of my customers' vehicle, even my cousin's vehicle, and it just comes out amazing all the time. The amount of dust buildup is super minimal, and whenever you do spill something, like my daughter in the back seat, we took a road trip to Charlotte and she did spill a couple of juice, and it just wiped off clean with a rinseless wash. And when you do have a spray ceramic or ceramic coating, you really want to stay within the pH neutral scale. Just for me in general, you don't need something super crazy all the time. You don't need to nuke the interior or the plastic in general, regardless of what the stain is or whatever is spilled. You want to start with the least aggressive first. Same way you do for the paint is the same thing you're going to do for the interior, and try to get the best result without being so harsh on the substrate. So I'm going to give everybody a couple of options on whether you choose a rinseless wash, which I have, Eco Wash here, Nemesis, which are just pure surfactant type of rinseless wash, no protection whatsoever. This is just going to be your straight cleaners. Or you can grab something, say, that has protection, say Ethos ceramic rinseless wash, Clean by Pans rinseless wash, that has some type of protection. Or even McKee's wash and wax if you don't want a ceramic type of protection on your plastics. And it's not going to make it shinier, greasier, or more oily. It's just going to add a little bit more protection, so that way it's a little bit more resistant. And just grab whichever of those is your choice. Or some people think that they need a dedicated quick interior detailer. So here I'm going to show you that it really doesn't really make a difference. Now, if you do say grab an actual interior quick detailer, say DIY Details Clean and Protect, that when you do clean something, it does leave a little bit of a darker sheen, or say Ethos interior cleaner that smells like coconuts. If you were to wipe this down, it's going to darken the sheen and the look of the interior. If that's something that you want, then stick to those, or even this one from Clean by Pans. It does give it a little bit of a deeper satin finish, and that is just if you want to spruce up and darken up the interior in itself. And quick note too, if you do want that little darkening effect, the one thing that I do enjoy a lot is the McKee's 37's rinseless wash and wax. And I will tell you all about the pros and cons about using, say, a rinseless wash with protection on your interior. So if you're going to do this for your plastics and seats and stuff like that, try not to use something like SiO2, especially something that's super slick, like say Clean by Pans or Ethos ceramic wash, or any type of ceramic wash. You don't want to put it on the steering wheel because it will give it a slippery feel, so you don't want to use that. And you definitely don't want to clean your interior windows with any type of protection. The most protection you really want to use, say, is a type of wax that probably lasts like a week or so on the paint. Nothing too crazy, because what's going to happen is when it gets mildewy or cold, that condensation is going to fog up the inside of the car, not just the outside. So if you are getting some fogging, that is probably because you use a ceramic sealant or something to clean your inside of the windows. You don't want to do that whatsoever. So let me bring you in, and as I said, I did coat the interior with Immortal, and it is slightly dusty. And let me spray the panel, and as you see here, it is beading just fine. Now in terms of here, there is some body oils and just little smudges, and it's really been repelling a lot of that dirt and grime, and even I think that's suntan from my wife, that or sunblock that's on there. So yeah, So I'm gonna do the two options in here now. For me, since I do have everything coated already, I'll just go straight with a pure surfactant cleaner. I don't need anything else. Now, if a rinseless wash can take care of the dirt, grit, and grime from the outside of the vehicle, trust me, it can easily take care of body oils and stuff like that on the interior, or light juice and stuff like that. Don't overthink the process if you do have something like that. And I will do this panel with the rinseless wash, and in this one I already have it already here since when I moved. So this is you can see it's a light blue color. That is iconic from the House of Rags with collaboration with Ivan. So here I'm just gonna spray this in here. That's it. Now this smells so good. It smells like cherries. But here is just applying on to the paint. I mean onto the interior. And that is it. Look, that little bit of body oil wipes right off easily. I'm not doing any pressure, and you don't have to because everything is protected and coated. Everything's just the same way. Dirt just comes off just as easy on the paint will come off from the plastics as well. And that is pretty much it. You are done. Now, when you do have an interior that is already coated, now one thing that was told to me from Tim McLaughlin and even Titan Tim and also Hawaii Tim is they told me not to dress the don't dress the interior plastics, and I'm guessing the probably for that is it may reject the dressing in itself, or it may be a little bit blotchy, so you want the spray coating over time to just leave on its own. And yeah, so here I am going to just spray, and there's just light dust, dirt. I wish I could bring you guys in. The only problem is I did drop my cell phone or with the microphone. I'm not trying to drop it again and break my microphone, because then I'm not gonna buy another microphone for a while. So I'm just going to leave that as that. So here is Clean by Pans interior detailer, and this is why I say I mainly use rinseless washes, because this is the only interior detailer that I have, and it's worked pretty well. It has a little bit of a alcohol type of scent as well. I don't really read too much into the products. I just use it and see if it works and if I like it. Like I said, it's just an interior detailer. I don't expect it to do wonders. It's just here to clean in between your deep interior cleanings or whatever, or in between washes. If you do this often, you won't need this. And in terms of protection, I don't even think it has any protection really, but it does leave a little bit of a nice satin finish and conditioned look. It's not oily, it's not greasy. And I will bring you in, so hopefully it picks up on camera just a little bit of what it kind of leaves behind. So as you can see, it just leaves a nice satin, excuse me, got the hiccups, a nice satin sheen. And here you can see like a little line of where I wiped. So it's not anything significant. You see that's the dust that's right over there. And once you pan over, you see a little distinct where I wiped the towel and stopped. That is the sheen that it leaves. So it just pretty much leaves it as a factory look, and it's not slick, it's not grabby. It just gives it a clean look. And that is pretty much it. I mean, there's not really much to talk about in terms of, you know, is it going to deep clean? No, it is not. But in my case, I like to use a rinseless wash over an interior detailer. Because to me, it just cleans better. It's still pH neutral. And that is pretty much it, really. I mean, I don't know what you all think. Leave it down in the comments, because do you use a specific interior detailer? And I'm not here to say, you know, don't buy an interior detailer. It's just a rinseless wash is so versatile that you don't need an interior detailer. And let me bring you down here as well. So this is where my daughter kicks up all the time and all this other stuff. And she also has a bit of extra juice that she probably dropped in there a little bit today that we took a little trip as well. So here, grab some rinseless wash. This is what I'm using, rinseless wash. And I just wipe gently. Just comes off with ease. That's it. I just like the satin sheen that it still leaves behind. I don't need to really darken the sheen or anything of that sort. Now, the other thing that there is some sort of merits in terms of some interior detailers where, like I said, clean and protect is one of my favorites, is because it gives that darkening effect. I like that type of effect because it'll give it some UV protection. So that is something that you need to also keep in mind, is that those are the pros and cons of those interior cleaners, is that it gives some UV protection. Now, the counter argument for it is that the counter argument of that as well is most of these rinseless washes leave a little bit of a polymer protection, nothing stout. And same thing with the interior detailers, is not going to leave a crazy amount of UV protection. The real only key difference for me that I've noticed in my years of detailing between a rinseless wash and a dedicated interior detailer is certain interior detailers, like I said in the beginning, only leaves a darker, richer finish, which helps fill in a little bit if you have an older faded type of vehicle, because over time the plastics and stuff will degrade. That is the way life goes, and then you really want to upkeep it. Like I said, interior clean and protect, you know, ethos, interior detailer, those have a lot of darkening effects onto it. Or you can apply, after you deep clean the plastics, apply say something like Detail Coat Shield or Geon Leather Coat, something along those lines to give it that darker finish. Or you can use fin rear to dress it up and give it a darker appearance for a couple of weeks. And that is pretty much the only difference between the two that I've noticed. Now, each of them will leave some sort of protection, because if you have a rinseless wash and it leaves a little bit of polymer protection and a little bit of UV protection, trust me, it's going to leave it on the plastics as well. And if you're going to use that for the interior compared to an interior detailer, the only difference, as I said, you're just getting the darker, rich finish. You're still going to get a UV protection or UV inhibitors on the interior plastics as well. So that is pretty much my thing. And to me, an interior detailer is really only good for if you wipe it down every week or every 2 weeks or probably every month, depending on how dirty everything gets. But for me, I do have a daughter. I have 2 daughters, and she spills milk, juice, cookies, crumbs, fruits, all that stuff, and I just go straight for a rinseless wash, and it doesn't do any harm whatsoever onto the coating, and the coating really helps. So yeah, this is pretty much a discussion that I really wanted to have with all of y'all, and show you that for me personally, I mainly only use a rinseless wash for my personal vehicles. Now, if it comes in turn for a customer, or say my vehicle is already faded and the plastic are fading, then I will grab something that leaves a dark satin finish, or I would dress it every so often, so that way it gives that dark, rich sheen again. But yeah, so that's about it. If you want to grab any of the products that I've used here today, you all can grab, say, Detail Code, Clean, Icon, Immortal, Phoenix EOD. If you want to coat your interiors, use code DMS at checkout for 10% off. And hopefully you found all of this informative. This is why I love the rinseless wash so much, because it is so versatile. You can clean the outside, the inside, and it's pretty much just a one product that does it all. It's a jack of all trades, master of none. And if you just clean your interior often, like I said, once a month or whatever, a rinseless wash is just fine. Just have it diluted with distilled water, and you'll be good to go at all times. Now, if you don't want to put any type of ceramic coating on it, then you can apply on the plastic something with protection like Hydro Save, Clean by Pans, Ethos Ceramic. It's going to give it a little bit, say 2 months of protection onto the actual plastic in itself, and that is about it. So hopefully you enjoyed this type of content. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And other than that, I will see all of y'all on the next video. Peace.